Hey guys, it's me, Mago Mago, or you can call me Stephanie. You can please like this video, subscribe, and comment down below if you want to. I'm just gonna get this video started because I keep procrastinating making these videos because of life and just deciding to do other things like watching the feeds. Right now I'm missing out on girls' night. Like that's how far behind I am. They're having their girls' night right now, and I've been wanting to just watch it instead, but they're just talking about life really, so I don't really need to listen to this. It's not like they're talking strategy. So let me, like I'm telling myself, record this video. So I'm gonna do it. I'm talking about Big Brother season 26, episode 15. And that happened a long time ago, so you should already know what happened. But I'll start it off. So the nominations right now are MJ, Rubina, and Cedric. All three of them know that um they know they need to get numbers to ensure that they don't get voted off if they don't win the AI arena. They're all aiming to win the AI arena, like they all feel like they could win. Um, but they're blah, 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 but they know that there's a chance that they won't win, so they know they need to get numbers. Um, Chemo is not liking that he's in the bottom of an alliance. Because Quinn told him about the Pentagon, so Chemo is not liking knowing about. Well, he likes that he knows about the Pentagon, but he's not liking that means he's at the bottom of the collective. Quinn doesn't want to blow up his alliances though. He thinks it's too early, or he said he doesn't want to blow up the collective right now because Tucker is still in the house. Chemo, which is uh T-Core and Chemo, if you didn't know, they start questioning Quinn on like if he's really with them, if he's really with the visionaries, because Quinn's so hesitant on blowing up the other alliances that he's in. Um, Quinn tells us that the visionaries is who he's with. The visionaries is who he trusts. The visionaries is who he wants to go the long haul with. Um, but Tikimo, they just don't want, they aren't telling Quinn this exactly, but they're talking to each other and they're talking to in the confessionals. They aren't sure they want to stay in the collective and keep um faithful to the collective if they know that they're at the bottom of it. They're like, why stay in this alliance if we're not really gaining anything from it? If anything, we're gaining until I think there's 8 members in it. So like they're gaining until um once it gets to 8 people left in the house, and they have to start they have to start getting each other off, and they're gonna aim for the people who are at the bottom, which is Kimu and Tikor and Joseph. Um, so they're just not Tikor and Kimo are just not feeling this. They don't know what to do. They want to get out of the bottom. Okay, so we get a scene where Tucker is giving Rubina advice about the AI arena since he's done it before, and sorry, um, he's telling her, don't look at the other players, just Focus on what you're doing. If you want to look at the end. That's important. That comes into play later on. We get introduced to 5 points at this point. At this point, we get introduced to 5 points with a Z, and it is Rubina, Tucker, Decor, Chemo, and Brooklyn. And when I saw Brooklyn was in it, okay, this is them. I'm not even gonna put like a a picture or anything of like the alliance because it's Brooklyn. Brooklyn is very loyal to the Pentagon. She says it in a confessional as well. Like she's like, I'm cool with being in this alliance, but I'm faithful to the Pentagon. So the moment I saw Brooklyn, I was like, oh, this is nothing. This isn't anything. This alliance is a goner. Like it's done from this. Like from the moment it was made, done. And in the, I don't think it shows it on the actual episode, but on the feeds, not even like 10 minutes later, Brooklyn goes to Chelsea and immediately tells her about 5 points. Immediately. I think it was like the first conversation she had after leaving their little formation meeting. Okay, so we kind of get the 5 points with the exception of Brooklyn. They're at the fish tank. They're upstairs by the HOH room. This is important because currently Angela's the HOH. She has the access to HOH room. And the show is showing us that Angela's kind of going a little crazy, a little, I don't know, paranoid as well, I think. And this is the door, and she's like this on the ground, and she's like this. And she's saying that in the confessional, she's saying that she knows Tucker's outside because she can see the cameras. Tucker's right outside of the HOH room. She's like, I need Tucker. I want to be with Tucker, like aligned with Tucker. I need to know where Tucker is at all times. And she sees that there's this group, and she gets up and she's like, nah, like this isn't fair. I need to be a part of that. I want to be a part of that. So she gets up and she opens the door. She walks straight up to them, and they weren't even talking about like strategy or anything at this point, but you could tell that they were still feeling awkward with the fact that she just like was walking up to them. So what made it even more awkward was she walked up to them and she said, please, please just let me be a part of this. I want to be a part of this. Please. I can be at the bottom. I'm fine with being on the bottom. Like, I know you guys already have something going on. I know this is a thing. I know this is a thing. Just let me in. I know you guys probably already have like an alliance. Just let me be a part of it. Please. Please just let me be a part of it. Please. She literally said she's okay with being at the bottom. She just wants to be a part of them. And they're like, I think the first word or the first sound that happened was Rubina. She's like towards the back. She's just like, oh. She literally felt bad for the women. She went, oh. Angela, my God. We get a confessional of Tucker. He's the only confessional we get about this moment. They all probably had were saying hilarious things about this, but we only get Tucker. And Tucker's just like, guys, she's standing right there. Say somebody say something, please. And the episode makes it seem like Angela was standing there for a long time and they weren't answering her, but they answered her pretty fast. I mean, it was like an awkward air at first because she's like begging them, and they didn't say anything for like a second, like 5 seconds or any something. But quickly, like Tucker's just like, yeah, sure, like that's fine. And they start talking, and they kind of start having a conversation of strategy, or I think maybe they were trying to come up with a name. Um, but like a few minutes later, somebody's coming up, so Tucker's like, "Oh, somebody's coming." Cut, and it's Quinn. So the conversation of like alliance of theirs stops. Um, I think I don't know if they confirm it during this moment or later on. I think maybe later on, but they call the name. They had a hard time with a name at first. They just end up going with the tanks because of the fish tank, and that's literally the only reason they're called the tanks, because of the fish tank. Okay. Uh, we're back at it again with Tikimu, and they are questioning if they want to make a big move against the Pentagon. They're very, they're like, should we do it? Should we not? Like, all of this could have been avoided though. They don't talk about it on the episode, but all of this could have been avoided if they would have just told Quinn not to put Rubina up. But they failed to do that. So and like they're talking like they don't want Rubina out. They they want Rubina to stay. And in the feeds, both Tikor and Kimu, throughout all of this, like questioning if they want to blow up the Pentagon, um, they are also talking about the fact that they are so mad at Quinn for putting Rubina up. That they're so mad he put Rubina up. And now they have to do this. They have to talk about how do we make sure that Rubina doesn't leave. So yeah, they are still continuing to have the conversation of maybe we should do something. It's more like Chemo is like, I think we should do something. I think we should dismantle the Pentagon. And it's more, and T-Cora is more silent, where she's just like, but I don't know, I like Cedric. Um, and this is all before like anything, like before the AI arena. They're like very focused on the fact like the worst case scenario is if Rubina and Cedric are on the block. Like the worst case scenario is if Mackenzie wins the AI arena. So it's very like they're very focused on that. Like if Rubina wins or if Cedric wins, easy peasy, they're getting Mackenzie out. Um, but to them, like that's what they think it'll be easy. They think that everyone will vote Mackenzie off. But they're very focused on the fact like, but the worst case scenario could always happen. And so they would talk about it and talk about it and talk about it and talk about it. T Chemo, one thing that you know about them that for sure is that they will talk. They will constantly be talking, constantly be whispering. Um, yeah, if you're trying to look for them, they're probably in the mountain room, or the Pandora room, whispering to each other. If you're looking for them, that's probably where they are. Um, Brooklyn is talking to Chemo, and she's like trying to convince Chemo. I think Chemo wanted to go and uh, like talk to Brooklyn to see how she felt about keeping Rubina. And he got the opposite of what he wanted, because Brooklyn was saying like, we need to make sure that if the worst case scenario happens, that the house all votes for Cedric to stay. She said like she doesn't want Tucker to be upset about only certain people voting for Cedric to stay, and even if it's the majority, uh, because she's like she knows that if Tikor and Chemo vote to evict Cedric and keep Rubina safe, and even if Rubina leaves because she doesn't have enough um, people supporting her, that Tucker will hold that against everyone who voted Rubina off, and he won't be mad at Tikor and Chemo because they didn't betray him. But everyone who voted for Rubina to be evicted would be, in Tucker's eyes, somebody who betrayed him. Um, so Brooklyn was trying to avoid that and saying that the whole house needs to vote for Cedric to leave, other than Tucker, obviously, so that Tucker doesn't have certain people to aim for. I think this was the exact opposite of what Chemo wanted to hear, and but once he heard it, that was it. He wasn't gonna talk to Brooklyn anymore about voting situations. I think if she would have said something like, "If we can keep Rubina, I'm down. Like, if there's a way that we can keep Rubina, tell me and I will listen." And if she would have said something like that, I think Chemo would have talked to her about their options, and she wouldn't have been left on the dark out of what they were trying to plan at the time. She would have more information. But because she was so gun ho about keeping Cedric and making sure everyone voted for Cedric to stay, um, she ruined that. Like, Chemo was done. I'm pretty sure that was where Chemo was like, I'm not talking to Brooklyn about this anymore. I'm giving Brooklyn less information, basically, is what I think Chemo was thinking. So Chemo is running through the numbers. We get him talking to us where he's running through the numbers about how do we keep Rubina. He knows he has his vote, T-Core's vote, Tucker's vote. But how do we make sure we have enough to evict Cedric if it comes down to it? Because Cedric obviously has Cam, Chelsea, and Brooklyn. And right now, Angela can't vote because she's technically the HOH. And we get told that Quinn can't vote because he's also technically the HOH because he's the one who nominated them. That's 2 votes that no one has. No one can have. Then we have Joseph, MJ, if she gets off of the AI arena, and we have Leah. So Joseph, I guess they weren't really thinking about in the feed or in the show. They don't say that he's really an option. In the feeds, they did talk to Joseph, but he was kind of like, if you have the numbers, tell me and I'll do it. So he only wanted to vote for Rubina to stay if they had the numbers. So Chemo, let me, Chemo knew he needed Leah and Mackenzie, MJ, and then they would have the votes dead set. Like, um, even if Joseph went with Chelsea and Brooklyn and the Pentagon. So because now we're focused on making sure that Leah and MJ are down with keeping Rubina, we get these segments of them talking to Tikor and Kimo. Leah thinks it's better to keep Rubina because she can continue, uh, Rubina can continue to be a target for other people because of the relationship she has with Tucker. So she would rather keep somebody that's gonna be a target, um, which is Tucker and Rubina. Cedric, in her eyes, will never be a target, or it'll down the line he will, but at this moment, Rubina's more of a target than Cedric. MJ is down to vote Cedric off because Cedric put her on the block before. So she's like, I have no loyalty to Cedric. I will vote to keep Rubina and evict Cedric. Now Chemo's thinking, well, we have the votes. We have enough. Even if we don't have Joseph, we have enough. But he doesn't want to go through with the plan unless T-Core is totally 100% down with this plan. So he's talking to T-Core, but T-Core is iffy because T-Core likes both Cedric and Rubina. So she's very like, I don't know what to do if it comes down to that. Chemo keeps talking to T-Core and he's like, girl, we have to make a big move. We're at the bottom. This is what Big Brother's about. We know we're at the bottom. We need to make a big move to get ourselves off of the bottom and to the top. And that's where it ends. Now it's time for the AI arena. And girl, I was at the edge of my seat. The edge of my seat. I know so many people wanted the drama. So many people were hoping that MJ won the AI arena so that we could get to see the whole situation that like we've been seeing Chemo and Tikor agonize over. They wanted to see if Tikimo would go through with the blind side and with the betrayal and get Cedric evicted. Um, so they wanted MJ to win, but I wanted Rubina to win because I didn't care. I was like, yes, I love the drama of it all, but at the same time, I wanted Rubina to stay. Rubina's my girl. I wanted her to stay so bad. I didn't want there to be a chance that she would get evicted. So I was on my seat saying like, girl, pull this off. Pull this off, please. I can't, you can't go. You can't go yet. So competition wise, it seemed like I'm not even gonna explain what the game was or the comp was, but it seemed like Rubina was winning at first. She was completing the task the fastest at first, but and I was cheering for her whenever I was like, oh my god, she's got it, she's got it, she's got it. But Robina had this issue where she just kept looking over. I don't know if she was looking over at Mackenzie specifically or if she was looking at Cedric as well. Probably Mackenzie because Mackenzie and her were like neck and neck. Um, and but that's that was my girl's downfall. If she would have just focused on her area, her what she was doing, she may have done it faster, and those few seconds would have just like they would have allowed her to win, because it literally was by milliseconds that MJ won the AI arena. Cedric had no chance. He didn't even like matter. Like during the comp, like they weren't even looking at what Cedric was doing. Like you could hear him in the back at one point where he was like cheering because he was like, "Let's go!" Because I think he finally got part of it done, but the girls were already at the second half, so it was just like, okay, good for you, Cedric. The reason that poor Rubina didn't win was because of how they needed to run to go hit a button whenever they finished their task, and Rubina's little legs couldn't run fast enough. And MJ's long legs, it was like one, two, hit the button, she won. For Rubina, it was like one, two, three, four. Like she finished the task first, but because it takes her more steps to get to the button, and the button was like to here to her. I don't even like Robina's short, so like the button was so high. Why would they do this? Like like the comps are made and like they even have their names on it. So Rubina's name was on her little com her set, and I'm just like, y'all know she's on the short side. Why is the button yay high? But yeah, Rubina had a chance, but once it came to running to hit the button first, she had no chance. That's where she had no chance. Like MJ won because she could just want to sprint, like, and she was at the button. But once the moment that MJ won, I was shocked honestly because it looked like the camera was focused on Rubina because I think the production thought Rubina was going to win, but at the last second they showed us MJ, and we hear Julie, and even Julie was confused. I think she was ready, prepared to say Rubina, but then like MJ hit the button first, so she was like, Mackenzie, you won. Um, and what was I gonna say? Oh, so the moment that they said that MJ won, I was like, what? Roll it back. What? Um, and but I was just like, I snapped out of it and I was like, okay, whatever. MJ won. Take chemo, go through with the plan. Make sure Cedric leaves. I love you, Cedric. You're so sweet and you're so cute. And I didn't want you to leave this early, but like I needed Rubina to win to make it through. So I was on the edge of my seat again, even farther on the edge of the seat, saying, "Oh my God, I hope, please, please, Tikimo, please do it." Please betray the Pentagon. Well, you weren't part of the Pentagon. Betray the collective and backstab the Pentagon and make it so that they don't fuck. Let me stop. I just really, really wanted them to go through with the plan. MJ's cheers whenever Julie announces that she won. She got cheers, she got applause, but not like compared to Tucker when he first won, you know, because they all wanted to get Lisa out. um, it just it was lackluster. Do I think MJ realized this? No. I think MJ was just like, thanks, yeah, I won. um, Cedric and Rubina, after some hugging, they get to campaigning. They get to like talking to people saying, I need your vote, please vote for me. Um, the first person that Rubina pulls to the side is Brooklyn. And Brooklyn doesn't even really let Rubina say anything. Like Rubina, like they're holding each other's hands like this, like um, because like Rubina's short, she's like this. um, and so Rubina's kind of like looking at her, and she's just like, please. And Brooklyn does the like it's just like, girl, the house is not voting for you. And she's like, this was real though. This was real. What we had was real. But the house is not voting for you. That you don't have the house. So Brooklyn is letting her like Rubina know that she's out. Girl, you're done. Like you're done. And I, in the moment, was like, fuck you. I was so mad. I was like, oh, please take him out. I was like, even more reason. Please take him out. Vote for Cedric, like, betray Cedric and make sure Rubina stays so this even, like, Brooklyn looks even more of a fool. Please. Like, that made me want it even more, even though I already wanted it so much. What Brooklyn said made me want it even more. I was astounded that Brooklyn said that to I was astounded that Brooklyn even had the gall to say that to Rubina. That thing's so awful. Um, and Rubina, like, she said that when Brooklyn said that to her, her eyes just got so sad, and she was just like, she was so sad. And Brooklyn was trying to like continue talking to her, but Rubina was just like, ugh, and then she left because like she needs to talk to other people. Um, and but just seeing how sad Rubina was awful. Uh, and I'm just saying, like, what are Tikimo gonna do? What are they gonna do? Both Rubina and Cedric, they have their speeches, and Rubina's was sad. Was it the best? No, but she was just sad. And Tucker, you could see like while Rubina's saying like, I have more of a purpose here. Like I don't think of it. I don't think I've accomplished what I've needed to do yet in this house. Please keep me here. Um, it's never too late to change your mind on who you're gonna keep. And while she's saying this, Tucker's just looking at her so Tucker, like, he's looking up at her, like he's sitting down and he's looking up at her, and he's like, you could tell he was so sad, like he did not want his girl to go. um, And then it was time for Cedric's speech, and I really cannot say much about Cedric's speech. It was sad, yes, but it was all over the place. I really didn't understand most of it. Um, like words were coming out of his mouth, but if I were there, I would have been like, "What the fuck was he talking about just now?" um, but he was having a hard time too, holding in the tears. Like, oh, I was sad about that too because I'm like I'm rooting for Rubina to stay, which means I'm rooting for Cedric to be evicted, and I'm just like I don't want either of you to go, but one of you has to go. And if anyone, I wanted Cedric to go. If it had to be anyone of those two. So one by one, the players go, the house guests, they go and they vote who they want to be evicted. And the player who gets evicted is Cedric. Yes, yes. I was so happy, but so sad. Like I was so happy, but so sad that Cedric was leaving. Both Cedric and Rubina were shocked. Like what Brooklyn said to Rubina really made her think that she was leaving. So when she heard that, like, she heard Julie say, by a vote of 6-3, Cedric, you have been evicted. She immediately like, what? Oh my god! Oh my god! I really thought I was gone. I really thought I wasn't staying. And the hug that her and Tucker had. Oh, they're so cute. I'm so glad she stayed. Um, Cedric is, you could tell he was shocked. Um, but he was taking it like a man. He was taking it gracefully. He was taking it like an adult. Like he took it good. He was just saying like it is what it is. You put yourself on. You put yourself out there. Like you risk it, and I risked it, and it didn't go how I wanted. Uh, it'll be interesting to see the votes. He said like I like to see who voted for who. Um, and like he said we'll always be friends, like, and I'm looking forward to seeing you guys on the outside. And he left. But Brooklyn's face, she was gobsmacked. She was just like she couldn't, like, Tucker later on says like Brooklyn has no poker face. Her face says it all. And you could tell that from her face that that's not how she thought things were going. Um, but I was laughing. I was laughing at her face. I was at the expression. I was laughing. So if you want to know who voted for who, it's pretty easy to know who. But the ones who voted for Cedric to leave were Tucker, Tikimo, or let me say that. Tucker, Tigor, Kimo, Joseph, Mackenzie, and Leah. The ones who voted for Rubina to be evicted were Chelsea, Brooklyn, and Cam. Something more interesting was the ones that were like crying, bawling their eyes out. Not all of them were bawling, but like they were sobbing. Were Chemo, like, you could tell he did not want to vote Cedric out. He did not want to vote young Cedric out, but he had to keep Rubina. So Chemo was crying, Leah was crying, and Joseph was crying. Tikor was straight faced Cedric to be evicted. Um, which I was honestly kind of surprised. Like, you couldn't even tell she was sad, but she was sad. She was sad about Cedric leaving. Cedric's interview was very tearful, was very sad. Like, how many times am I gonna say sad? Like, it was sad, girl. I was watching the interview and I was just like, "Oh, I'm so happy right now, but I'm so sad at the same time. I'm depressed." He was holding back tears throughout the interview. Like, even whenever he walked up, you could tell that he was trying to control his tears um during the interview without even being asked any questions yet. For some reason, they took out a question they asked during, like, while it was live, um where Cedric was asked. The question was something like, what was the best thing that you got from this experience at Big Brother? And he immediately, like, his eyes started welling up. His voice was straining, um and he was like, the friends, like the new friends, the people that I've met and will forever be in my life. Like, that really got him. Like, that got him. He You could see that his eyes welling up, and I was just like, oh my god, oh my god, no, Cedric. Um, so yeah, I don't know why they took that out of the interview. He got to see some of his goodbye messages, but not all of them. Yeah. And then we get a glimpse of what's next. And what's next is the HOH comp. And the HOH comp is the legendary, the classic, The Wall. And I'm so excited because I was rooting for Tucker to win. I was rooting for Tucker to get an HOH. One of the last things that we get from the episode is a very iconic um scene, honestly, because it was live. So it was pretty cool that they got this live. But it's T-Core and it's and Chemo in the gym, kind of like hiding, but um they were there. They were sitting there and talking to each other, and one of the last two sentences we hear, maybe the last two sentences we hear is T-Core telling Chemo, "We did that." And then Chemo responding, "We did. We did that. We did." And you know what they did. And I'm so happy they did. Because I was so happy. Uh, Good job. I applaud thee. Thank you, Tikimo. Both of you. Thank you for doing the right thing and keeping Rubina in the game. But yeah, that's the end of episode 15. If you like the video, please like the video, press that like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos from me when I will upload these. um, Comment down below anything. Comment maybe if you were Team Cedric and you didn't want Cedric to leave, or if you're also Team Rubina and you were so happy that I don't know if this would be called a blindside, but that the plan worked out and Rubina stayed, and we get more of Tubina, and we get more of just Rubina and Tigor and Kimo, because I love that group. uh, so yeah, just comment about the season in general and how you're enjoying it, or if not, if you're not enjoying it, I don't know how you aren't. This season is great in my opinion. But yeah, like, comment, and subscribe, please. Bye. It's Mago or Stephanie, whatever you want to call me. Bye.